Hello and welcome to the Create Your Motherhood Summer Series, Episode 2. I'm Colleret, lifestyle designer and transformational coach, and I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you. Today, I'm going to talk to you about awakening your divine feminine energy as you prepare yourself for creating your motherhood journey. So this is one of the kind of part of the prep work if you intend on joining the Create Your Motherhood program, and something we'll be coming back to throughout the experience. Now, creating your motherhood or becoming a mom is inherently feminine. We all have, men and women, masculine and feminine energies that flow through us. However, for different things in our lives, we let either or lead the way, or for certain things, we need both equally. But when setting the tone, when creating fertile ground to create your motherhood, the feminine sets the stage, while the masculine sits around the dance floor, waiting for the right moment to step and tango with you. Know what I mean? So this is a process that is really personal to you, for you to tune in. And this is what I'm inviting you to do today, to look at what does it mean to you to awaken your feminine, or to take it to another level, or explore another dimension, particularly as it pertains to your motherhood journey. Now, if you're like me, you might have been brought up, raised in an overly masculine world. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm so grateful that the women before me created opportunities so that women of my generation had the same opportunities as men. I grew up never doubting that I could become a lawyer, or that I could go to med school, or that I could open a business. It never once crossed my mind that I wouldn't be able to do that. I opened my first bank account when I was, 13, 12 years old maybe. It wasn't that long ago that some women needed their husband for permission to do that, or to co-sign. There's so much that I was able to do in my life without never needing a man. But that being said, I also grew up to anthems like, I don't need a man to make me happy. And this kind of, female empowerment movement, which also incredible. But what I have experienced is the pendulum swung to the other extreme, out of stepping out, breaking free of the patriarchy. The feminine movement led us to, one, play on the same field as men. Now, we are part of the generation that are paving the way for my daughter's generation, for them to lead with their feminine, to play their own game, so that we can all play, but honoring the alignment within us, with the balance of both masculine and feminine energies, leading the way in a way that feels balanced and sustainable. Now, this became apparent for me a few years ago, when I started really realizing that although considering myself someone to be quite feminine, when it came to my motherhood journey, I still had a big wall of masculine energy blocking the way. And that wall was showing up because I was single, and really was in the story that I needed to be as independent as possible in order to realize my dreams, build my business. And I remember a defining moment. I was wearing a button-up shirt, and I was on a coaching call with my coach at the time. And we were talking about this concept of masculine and feminine. And I suddenly realized that I felt it in my throat, that I was overly masculine, always hustling, putting pressure on myself, pushing. Even the masculine energy inside of me was out of balance. And so I unbuttoned my shirt. And that was literally the beginning of this expansion into my divine feminine. And this is cyclical. I'm constantly reviewing this and retuning into it, because there's moments where I feel the masculine really coming up. As I came back into working after maternity leave, there was a reawakening of my masculine energy. And so I want to share with you some tips to find that balance, no matter where you are on your journey. So let's start for example, if your career requires a lot of masculine energy. Now, in my experience, having my business, there is a need for the two. And in getting back into the game, there was this, push of masculine energy. And so a few ways that I keep my feminine flowing through that is either through the way I dress or creating transitions in my day. When I step out of quote unquote coaching mode or, the more masculine energy type of work mode, I will transition and consciously, kind of let that go. And it could be through a change of clothes. I change clothes quite a bit, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Changing environment, going out into nature. So if you work in an environment that is highly masculine, I invite you to see if there's a way for you to create certain boundaries, that certain energies where they're needed are left there. The same way if you're overly feminine, you might be too soft and gentle and not necessarily stepping into the also fierceness that divine femininity also has space for. So creating these transitions is a great way for you to flow with both of your energies. Now, I mentioned how you dress, and this is one of the easiest ways to awaken your energy from using an external source, but influencing your internal source. I'm wearing a flowery, flowy dress right now for this exact reason. If you're not someone who likes to wear dresses, I challenge you to wear things that are really flowy. It's summer here where I am, so if you have an opportunity to do that, there's something really freeing, very feminine about it. And the feminine energy is very flowy, is abundant. She's rich, fertile, joyous, playful. So this might be something for you to consider if you're constantly wearing, as I used to, really tight clothes, because I worked at Lululemon for many years. Can you loosen up a little bit? I mean, I know we want to be tight in certain areas of our lives, but not in our feminine energy. So if you're constantly wearing things that are feeling constricting, even if you're buttoning up your shirt all the time, create space, create openness, and this will create some circulation in your energy. In your home, is there a balance of masculine and feminine energy? If you're in a relationship right now, take a look in your household. Are those two energies being well represented? It might be as simple as, the statues, are there representations of male and female statues, or, maybe a bouquet of flowers next to your partner's men's journal or something like that. Something that creates both room for both energies to live together. Spending time in nature is one of my favorite ways to awaken the feminine energy. Mother Nature is the ultimate guide for you to step into this. So what I invite you to do if you want to connect to your feminine nature is go into nature. Go for a walk. You can go to a park and just observe. Just notice what's happening. You actually don't have to do anything. Just being in Mother Nature helps you restore both your feminine and masculine energy without you having to do anything. Just showing up is plenty. I also want to invite you to journal. Take some time to reflect on this. What's even coming up for you around this conversation? Maybe this is activating for you and you're feeling resistance. Just notice it to start, but maybe journal around it. What does it mean to you to be feminine and to step into that as you step into your journey to motherhood? And after you do that, I also invite you to write down ways that support you in connecting to your feminine. What are activities or ways of being that allow you to really feel that? Because what works for me might not work for you. So you can make a very short list. You don't have to do a million things here. I'm not trying to add more on your plate. But there might be foods that you eat that make you feel feminine. Like I love eating with my hands, so like sushi can be a very feminine experience for me. It's a very sexual experience too if you eat it with your partner, so that can be fun. Sensual, maybe not sexual, but why not? They can combine the two. Even fruit, like there's colors. I just invite you to notice the two energies in your world, how they show up, how you allow them to show up, and where your energy is needed, particularly in this conversation around motherhood. And I would love to know what comes up for you. And to finish this episode off, I'm going to invite you to dance. because that is also a beautiful way to let those energies flow into your body. Now, I invite you to dance in two ways. If you're in a partnership, dance with your partner. That's a beautiful way for both energies to come together, where the masculine leads and creates a container and the feminine can flow. There's something really beautiful. So if you're in a partnership, definitely do that. And if you're dating, well, go dance on a date. If you're single, and even in a relationship, I think as women, just dancing freely on our own keeps the energy of our feminine alive. So seek out songs that inspire you. Dance to your own beat, which we're going to do today. So I'm going to invite you to do this. We're just going to go with it, and we'll see what happens for you. But that's a really beautiful thing for you to do as well. Okay, so with that, let's get dancing. So what I invite you to do, even if you feel awkward, just go for it. Wherever you are. Obviously, if you're, driving, hopefully you're not watching this while you're driving, but if you're just listening, come back to this. I'm going to just let the music of nature guide us. And just start with your feet. Take a moment, take a deep breath. And since we're talking about creating your motherhood, I invite you to start with your hands on your abdomen, connecting to your life force, your womb. You can also have one hand there and the other on your heart. This can be the beat of your drum. Close your eyes. And then just gently start to sway. Just feel your hips. Just sway. Notice how it feels. Imagine your feet are rooting down like a seaweed. You're anchored, yet also flowing. Keeping your hands either on your womb or on your heart, just to start. You're doing circles with your hips. Keeping your eyes closed, just notice where the movement is naturally going. Take another breath. Then release your hands. And then just keep your eyes closed for now. Allow your body to move in a way that feels organic. Dance like no one's watching, as Martin said. And just notice, where does your body want to go? Keeping your feet anchored, or if you feel like moving them. We're just going to be here for another minute or two. Now keeping your hands moving over your head, to the side, around you. I invite you to open your eyes. Or you can keep them closed if that feels better. Now you can't see my feet, but I invite you to start moving your feet, keep your hips swaying. So you want to start creating this channel of energy from the feet to your hips, through your womb, through your heart, through your hands. And you may want to continue this with one of your favorite songs. A few that I like, I'll link some below. But first one's coming to mind is Gloria Estefan, the conga. If you really want to just get the rhythm in you, that's a good one to move it around. I feel Latin music is a beautiful way to connect to a powerful flow. Love Rising Appalachia. They've got some really beautiful, more grounding and folky songs. And I'll link a couple others below. All right, let's just finish this up, or keep on dancing. And if you want to be part of the Create Your Motherhood program, where we explore this more deeply and help you align to your desire, well, you want to join today. The program that starts in September. Heading to my website, melissacolleret.com. It's going to be a beautiful journey from September to December. And it's an honor to be your guide. So let me know what stood out for you in today's episode. And I will see you next time.